Hi guys, hope you're all okay. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me today for another video. I wanted to do a software based video today to show you a piece of software called WTR browser. Now this is the self-proclaimed Swiss Army knife of frequency searches, and it's a piece of software that's been developed well over a year by Wayne Richards, and I've been trying this for a couple of days. I got my copy the other day, and I've got to say I agree with Wayne 100%. It really is a Swiss Army knife of frequency searches, and he's done an absolutely cracking job of putting this piece of software together. Now, you might be looking at the screen here thinking that looks pretty complicated, but it's not. Wayne's actually packed this with loads and loads of features which will make your life, from a radio scanning point of view, so much easier. I've been playing around with this now for a couple of days and it's absolutely brilliant. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to talk you through each setting, each button, each little feature here on the screen, and just give you an idea on how this piece of software works and how much of an impact it'll have on your radio scanning operation. Now, I should start by saying I did a video about 2 weeks ago on why you shouldn't share DMR frequencies or digital frequencies. Now, the main reason for that is because they end up on social media. The companies find out that the information is being put on social media and they just go encrypted. It is happening, whether you agree with what I'm saying or disagree with what I'm saying. That's what's happening, that's what's going on. Now, this database keeps everything off social media. It's in a database, it's out the way, and there's there's really not much chance of a radio user getting hold of this and going encrypted because of this. And I should also point out that the DMR frequencies in here are just the frequency. It doesn't give you the color code, the talk group, or the slot, which is great. You've got to do a bit of work and find that out yourself. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is just go through this piece of software and show you each little setting and show you how to set it up and get it working. So once you've got your software, it looks like this. Now there are 3 different user levels to this. We're on expert here. There is a basic mode which just strips out some of the detail, but we'll keep it in expert mode so I can show you each little item. So what we need to do first is we need to select the database we're going to be looking at. So we're going to select Business Radio, 1st of October 2018, because that's the most modern one. We've also need to get our grid reference. So my grid reference is SJ. Now what I'm going to do to get a grid reference is I'm just going to open my phone here and we'll get a postcode. So we'll just type a postcode in. So OL6 6NQ. Now you've got to leave the gap in your postcode, and if we just click on get grid initial for the postcode and set, what that will do is it will find the grid reference that postcode is in and set it for you. And don't worry, that wasn't my postcode, that was a Tesco store in a town about 8 miles from here. So now we've got a postcode inserted. So what you can do then is you can perform a basic search. So you can see we've got a search box here, and in there you can search for a frequency, a grid, a name, a postcode, a locale, or a location. So first we'll do a frequency search. Now it's best to have this box here checked, so the results do not have to be an exact match. It's better to have that box checked. It just gives you a little bit more freedom when exploring the database. So we'll just type in a frequency. So we'll put 455 550 in. We're going to click on single search. Make sure it's set to frequency, and in my grid reference it will give me every license that's assigned to the frequency 455.550. Now you can see I've blanked out some of the information here because I don't like sharing these frequencies publicly, but we've got the license number, we've got the name, we've got the grid reference, the split, the license date, the frequency, the ADDI, so you can add an address, the locale, and the greater location. We've got the postcode, we've got a color code. Now the software won't share those with you, you put them in as you find them. We've got the bandwidth, a note which you can add, which I'll come to in a minute, and then we've got an emission. So whether it's NFM, whether it's DMR, you can see the different emissions in there, and you can sort these out. So you can sort them by name, you can sort them by the postcode in alphabetical order, you can sort them by license number, by name, by frequency, by split, things like that. So there's lots of different ways you can organize those lists. Okay, so that's how to perform basic search. Now, as I said, you can search by frequency, grid, by name, by postcode, by locale, location. So if we type in Manchester here, and then we filter by location, and we click on single search again. You can see we've got a massive list there of hundreds of frequencies in the location of Manchester. Now we've got a button there that has a combined search just to the right of single search. If we click on that, we can search something else and add it to the list. So if you wanted to search Manchester and Liverpool, you could have a list below in the search results of Manchester frequencies and then Liverpool frequencies underneath. And then you can arrange them again in alphabetical order by the location, by the frequency, things like that. So there's plenty of ways to manipulate this little database. So yeah, that's how to perform a basic search. You can see here we've got the reset all fields button, so that will take things back to the beginning. We've got a screener button there, so if we click that and click on photo, what that will do is take a screenshot and load it up for me. So if I'm wanting to just quickly save things that I'm finding to review at a later date, I can save those as screenshots and just refer back to them. We've got the emission filter here. So again, if I just go back and click on DMR and click on single search, it will filter out just DMR. You can filter out NFM, NFM2, NXDN. You can filter out telemetry, wind farm, which I think might be IDAS actually, if memory serves me. But yeah, you can filter different modes here, so you can search in a little bit more detail. So if you're only after DMR, you can search just for DMR. Okay, I'm just going to bring up some more results again. Okay, and then just underneath we've got a button there that says download or delete databases. You can, well, download and delete databases. So as new databases come out, you can just download and install those quite easily. Right, so if we look to the right now, you can see we've got inner search options here, and we can search your filter output. So you can select Google Earth, large list inner search, and SDR Uno inner search. And basically what that allows you to do is check certain boxes and search your results in a little bit more detail. So you can see where we've got a massive list here for Manchester. You can search by license, by name, by grid, by TX and RX, by date, by frequency, by postcode, locale, location, band, or all. So you can basically just get into a little bit more detail on massive lists that come up, because if you're searching like Manchester or Liverpool, you're going to end up with a huge list of results. So it just allows you to pinpoint database entries a little bit easier. Okay, underneath that we've got the purchase, donate and deactivate menu there, so you can purchase another copy. I paid £15 for this, that's the current price at time of filming, and you can purchase a secondary copy there for £7, which is actually a saving of £8, which I think is more than fair. You can donate to the cause, or you can deactivate your current copy. We've got exporting here, but I'm going to show you that in a little while, but that's a really powerful tool and makes a great feature on this software. Okay, so just to the right of that, we've got clipboard options here. So we'll click on that, and you can see it brings up a little menu, and you can copy the name, the frequency, or both to your clipboard. You can copy the name, the frequency, and the license. You can copy the name, frequency, license, and grid reference, and you can copy the name, frequency, license, grid reference, and locale there, which is handy if you want to store that frequency elsewhere. You can just copy it to your clipboard. We've got a duplex calculator here, which will basically find the split between the receive frequency and the transmit frequency. You can find chunk frequencies, so if you highlight a result, it'll search the license number for other frequencies. You can view linked grid, which basically if you highlight a result and press this button, it will view all frequencies in the same grid code. So if you want to search a specific grid code, you can find all similar, all the same, all other frequencies in that grid code. And then we've got linked name, so that will basically search the database for a license holder. So if you wanted for example, if you wanted to search, if you look on the results there, you can see Apex Radio Limited. If you wanted to search everything that they've got, you can do that and bring that up, which is another handy thing. And then we've got results tips here. So it says single click to get the postcode, double click for mapping, and click headers to sort. Right, so that's the top half. If we look down the side of the results, you can see we've got grid map, we've got lat and long map, and we've got add notes. So the grid map will plot, it will bring up a external browser page which will show you the selected result on a grid map, it will show you the selected result on a latitude and longitude map in your browser, and then you can add a note. So you can click on a result and add a note. So you could say, you could click on the top result there, add a note saying this is actually no longer in use, or you could say you heard this on the 8th of the 1st 2019, for example. You can add any note that you like in there. On the bottom, we've got some more handy features. So you can map the results by grid reference, so rather than latitude and longitude, which is slower. You can get a distance check, so underneath here you can put your postcode in, you can put the postcode of a result in, and you can get the distance between the postcodes or get local information on that postcode. So if you want to know where that postcode is, you would click that, and you would click get the distance between postcodes to work out how far away you are from a result. And that's handy because you might realise that something you're hearing isn't actually what you thought it was. It could be something nearer, or it could be something further away. So you might think you're hearing something but realise that it's actually too far away to be hearing it. So that's quite a handy tool. We've got the quick viewer details. So if you click on a result, it will bring up a box there which will give you more information, and there's some other options in that box. So you can view link licenses, you can Google the name of the company, you can view a link name, so you can look for more licenses under that name. You can view the grid map, so you can plot that location on a map, and you can get more local information on that postcode. You can also add a note in this box as well. We've got a box there that says join the fast lane. Basically what you can do is join the fast lane program, and you'll get updates directly with the press of a button. So if you click that button, it will see if there's an update available. You can also alternatively click on updates and updates at the top, and that will check for any updates on the database or on the software version. We've got secondary search here, so what you can do is you can select another grid reference there, and you can search two. So when you load up the software, it will search your grid reference and another one. So if you want to search a neighbouring grid square, then you can do. And then, as I showed you before, we've got the different levels of expertise for using this, but I'm sure by now you'll agree that on expert it's still quite simple to use. Now, before we look at the top, we'll go through exporting. This is my favourite bit of this software. I think it's absolutely brilliant, and massive well done to Wayne for developing this. You can basically export the results that you have on the screen to different pieces of software. So at the moment, you can export it to an Anytone 868. You can export it to Chirp, Google Earth, Large Lists, SDR Sharp, SDR Uno or Whistler. So you could export some frequencies to a Whistler database. So you can put that in your Whistler scanner and start scanning. What I'll show you first is Chirp. So if we export to Chirp, what we can do is pick from those results. So you can say I already picked some earlier. So what we can actually do is add to these. So we can select some more, add the selected to the database, and it will create a Chirp file. And you can rewrite this at any point, so you can add and remove stuff all the time. But you can see there now we've got these frequencies in. What we'll do is basically you can open the folder that CSV file is saved in, or you can actually open the file and you can program that into your Bofeng or loads of Chinese radios. There's a lot of Chinese radios now supported by Chirp, so you can select up to 200 and program into your handheld and use it as a scanner. So I just thought that was a really, really handy product and something I'll definitely be using. And as I say, you can amend and rewrite this Chirp file at any point. If we just come out of that, we can go to Google Earth. And if we click on that, it will open a box. It's always recommended that you have Google Earth open in the background for this. It just makes it a bit quicker. And you can select these, and then you can create the Google Earth KML file and launch. And what that will do is open Google Earth, and it will plot all those points on a map. So how good is that? Okay, and then just the items along the top. We've got airband here, so if we click on that, you can type in, for example, Manchester. You can select location and single search, and it will bring up Manchester Airport frequencies. Now it does say here the data is now out of date, so this will no longer be updated, so you can use Squawka, and there is a link to Squawka there which will launch an external browser to Facebook for the Squawka group. We've got Airband XL and Flight Radar 24, which you can open. You can send the results to Whistler or Chirp, and you can send them to SDR Uno as well. If you want to know a frequency that you've been hearing, so 118.625, and you're not sure where it is, you can go on frequency, single search, and you can see there it's Manchester Tower. You can change the button colour there to grey or back to colour. We've got Facebook there, so you can go to the WTR browser Facebook group. We've got grid and post, so you've got postcode finder and grid reference finder here, so those open browser pages to websites which will find your postcode or your grid reference. We've got links, so we've got a list of external links here. So we've got grid finder, vessel finder, RNLI alerts, radio dealers, ADSB flight tracker, hey what's that, Find Grid Code 2, marine traffic, ships IAS, Ofcom direct links and partners. So you can just close that off. Programs, you can get Mariner, which is marine frequencies, or Squawker, which is squawk codes and airband frequencies. Privacy and legal notices there. Radio Amateur, which is another handy one. So again, very similar to the airband, you can search a frequency. And you can search by different criteria here. And it will bring up repeaters. You can reset the fields here, and as I say, you can search by TX or RX frequency. You can search by mode, by repeater, band, channel, QTHR, where it is, region, code, keeper, latitude, longitude, things like that. That's using the ham radio database. So if you want to know where a certain repeater is, you can find that. There's also links here to ukrepeaters.net, opendmr.net, Brandmeister DMR and Hamcall. You can download new databases. Again, you can send these to Whistler or Chirp, SDR Uno or Anytone. You've got the DMR Mart website here and then more info. So there's absolutely tons of things here for the radio amateur as well. And you can export these to your scanner, so you could select them all and export them to Whistler. If we close that off, we've got reports. You can report any issues. We've got scanner pickups. So, for example, here you can plug in your Whistler scanner and you can run the control demo. And what it'll do is basically it will assign a name to a frequency that you pick up. So when your Whistler picks something up, the software will try to assign a user to that. It's not always going to be right because things do change, but basically if you've got everything set up correctly and you pick up something on a certain frequency, it will find you the user for that and program in, which is great. And there's different options for Uniden and things like that. And then Dropboxer, this actually allows you to control this piece of software from your mobile device, so you can actually use it from your phone, from your machine running at home, and use this while you're actually out on the road. So again, another really handy feature. We've got updates here, which just allows you to search for updates and install them, and then we've got help, which gives you some help videos, and you've got a help database as well. So that is an overview of the WTR browser. I know it was a lot of talking, but I hope it just cleared up how to use this piece of software and just what an amazingly powerful piece of software it is. I think one of the main reasons I like it is because this keeps everything private. There's no need to share anything on social media, on public forums and things like that, and it just helps to keep this stuff under the radar, which is, really where it belongs. It's for the best, and it will help keep the hobby alive. So yeah, I think it's a really good piece of software, and as I say, credit where credit's due to Wayne. I think he's done an amazing job, and this is being updated all the time, which is good. I would highly recommend it as well. If you want to get hold of this software, I'll put some links in the description below where you can follow to get this. And if you have any comments, suggestions or questions, then drop them in the box below. Please don't leave me comments on how to improve this piece of software. It's not my software at all, so please don't leave those comments, but just let me know what you think of it. I think it's a really good tool. And we'll leave that one there. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, and we'll catch you in the next one. 7-3 for now, guys. Cheers.